Okay, it's 4:33. I am so tired, but it's more of it being woke up, and it is because it's like I'm so deep in my dreams. It's so weird. I don't know if I like where this is. It's so weird how deep the dreams feel, and it feels like you're always somewhere else. It's weird. This is weird. Everything's weird, man. Everything is so fucking weird. Everything is moving weird. Things sound weird. Yesterday, I don't even know if I said this because this was something that was really confusing me. I might wobble into it. I don't know. This is something that was really confusing me. Was because yesterday morning, when I fed them, I went and got their food and I put this spoon in it and I make like this big pot in my Instapot thing. So it's this big pot of like stew. And when I put the spoon in, it moved weird. It did this like, I don't even know. I don't even want to picture it. It did this weird movement. And all of a sudden it made me feel like, I don't know, like, and what is that called when you're moving sickness or whatever? And but it was so deep. I had to turn away from it. I was gagging. All this stuff was coming in my eyes, in my mouth. I was holding everything back to not. I wouldn't really have anything to puke. Although Max was up puking in the middle of fucking Indiana on my shag rug. So disgusting. So, anyways, but there's always something. I swear to God. There's always shenanigans all the motherfucking time. My mom is starting to notice too. Because it's just weird shit. It's like, what is the chances of that? What is the chances that you're gonna drop this? It's gonna spin. It's gonna go over there and hit into a glass. It's like the weirdest shit all the time. It's like this stuff is so fucking weird. It's like there's just circus clowns around us, just fucking around. The what was I gonna say? Okay, so anyways, the food made me have motion sickness or something. It was the weirdest thing, but I was so, oh God, it was horrible. And so then when I can't even look at the food now, I can't watch. It just keeps making me feel that same thing of like, oh my God, I don't even know what it was, why it did that. And then I was like, well, wouldn't I have already have said that yesterday morning? But I was positive I hadn't had that experience yet because I remember when I had it, I did a TikTok, I thought. I was like, I don't know. Everything is like a dream. Everything is like, what? I can't put things together in my own day. Now it seems like it's really high. Maybe if I go with it back one more. Hold on. So now I feel like I'm trying to sit up really high. Okay, that's better. Then, this thing, like, they don't last very long. The legs just start. So every time it's like I gotta refix it. But anyways, it just keeps being weird as shit stuff. Everything sounds weird. The sounds just, everything is so weird. Like, going to sleep is just, it's like you go into these deep place, and I get woke up, and then I'm just like totally out of it. And all I want to do is go back to sleep and go back to wherever I was, Sleepville. There's a lot of action going on there. And the Stella that was following me around, she was so much smaller. It was weird. And yeah, the Crystal had said something in the comments this morning. So I read that before I started doing this. And I can totally see, like, I don't know if I see the same thing she sees, because how do any of us know what one another sees? But how I see it, it is such a connection. Like, it really has been messing with my mind more and more and more of stuff, because it's like your levels of understanding or something, and it just goes deeper and deeper. You know, you can go into, you know, yourself as just energy. So I don't know. It just trips me out because I don't necessarily see this as, anymore as like, you know, like you're in your home planet and then you're like, well, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to go down to Earth and go experience that. And you go, I don't know, you go to some room and put on some sort of goggles and you sit in this meditation room, but you all have to go as a big group. All your group goes. It's like, that is kind of like taking a concept and trying to make it into a picture. It's like, I think, hold on, let me drink some more of this. I'm starting to get kind of cold, so I may as well just finish it. So so now how I keep seeing it is, I don't know. It's like, for one thing, it's like there's stories. And like I said, it goes all the way back to okay, so it goes all the way back to like the 14 original stories or something. Does everything go back to this 13 or 14 or 12? Because we have the 12 strands, where they say the 13 original families, the 14, I don't know. Everything, I don't know. But it seems to me, some of the stuff is so hard to explain, man. Okay. Because the learning isn't, it's like on a whole bunch of different levels. Because you're learning to be comfortable being you. Almost like not depending on a picture to show you who you are. So it's like there's some kind of an advancement or something. There's some kind of a, I don't know, this progression or something of like you as your energy. Like, see, it's so vast, man. Okay. So like here in this world, in this realm, which is trippy because this is not like in a real, but that's the thing, is like we were, man, see, God. Okay. Man, this is like so confusing how to say it. Because like when you can see it, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like spilling something and it going out. But then trying to explain how it works so that we can understand what's happening. And it's like in all these levels of understanding. And so here, where we are, like we're around, you know, lots of people who, we've been told we're in this, this certain kind of world, and we believe it, but it doesn't make it real. Our belief in it, oh God, it's so trippy because I get these fucking things coming into my head of like where we were told, reference, like Truman and Ed Harris telling him or saying, I think to the interviewer or something, you know, you tell somebody something, they believe it. I can't remember the whole thing, but anyways, I could see him. But it's like you tell them and they believe it, but it's like we create it because it's like it's not really here, but it's like on certain levels that it is like a thought bubble, like this giving light to something. When you're in your thinking in your head, you've got all this stuff going. When you stop and you focus on something, you give it light, you give it, you give it acknowledgement, and so that becomes your focus. And that is what these last night there was another weird as fuck one. Oh my god, it was so creepy. His eyes were so fucking weird looking. And he was sitting at a table, and all of a sudden he looked over at me, and his eyes were so weird looking that it drew me in for a second. But the second I was drawn in, it was like I was being sucked in to this eye, into this portal. It's not just going into an eye. It's not like you're going into a person. It's like this portal. And I don't know where they lead, but it's like, what the fuck, man? Yeah, I mean, it could be Men in Black trying to trap people, trying to trap souls or something, trying to trap energy. And I don't know. Like, yeah, because when I came out of my body before, I was out of it because I could look back and see it. So there's a part of you that's literally out of it. That's the part they're trying to capture, I guess. So when we're out there without our spacesuit, they're trying to grab us or something. So if I'm dozing off and, you know, going, and it's like, come this way, over here. And then you look over, and all of a sudden it's like you're drawn in for a second. You're captured. And oh man, it was like I was like, in the thing. I'm trying to pull back, and I had to pull and open my eyes, but it was so dramatic, so much more dramatic. It was like this hard pull to get my eyes to open, to pull me out. It was like, oh god, it was intense. Jeez, some of those things, it's like, man, if you could show those in film, because some of the shit that happens like in the spiritual realm is intense, man. Just like in that show Evil that I was talking about, how there was like a lot of interactions in that realm with the beings, beasts, the monsters, the devils. It's just all different beings, and you know, I don't know, if you're real scared of the devil, and then they can feel you, they can feel your fear, then they can make themselves shift or appear to be more scary to you by that. See, when you go through some of these portals into these places or something, like I said, it could be Men in Black trying to capture you, because they did that one guy who was out astral traveling. They got him, and they just pulled him into a room, and he said he wasn't, like, they just pulled him. It's like, that's some creepy shit, man. See, that's what, being in this density, that's why I see this spacesuit as being more of a safety thing. When I came out of my body, and you know, I mean, I didn't know I was out of my body. Like I said, I just noticed that everything looked weird, and I didn't smell anything because everything looked smoky, but I didn't smell anything. I'm still like trying to sit weird. Put this pillow on my back more. So it was, but I was out of it, and you can think and everything, but you don't have, see, I think that's why these spacesuits we like, because you get a taste and smell and all those senses that they tell us about. That is the thing. But see, it's on all these different levels, like, and they've learned things, like they've studied this creation that they've created. Because I was told, like I said, when I was a kid, I was told, like, I knew we were some kind of an experiment. I didn't know all this stuff, but I was very suspicious of so many things. And I had it real deep inside my blood about not trusting the government and the conspiracy around us. There's a bunch of stuff, man, where, you know, now I can look back at myself and see, like, oh my God, I knew it. But it's weird, especially because you're a kid. Nobody listens or whatever. You just seem like a weirdo. But there's so many things. It was like, fuck, man. So, anyways, so is this being a three-dimensional thing? Okay, so you take that concept or that part of the whole thing. So the three-dimensional density in it, the density, it's all vibration. And so And think how wavelengths move and stuff. Of course, it's got to change. It can't stay the same. And look at how time, like how it can be like in here, it can feel like hundreds of years in this time and this vibration. So the vibration is changing on the planet, and it is the, so it goes in dark and light, dark and light, dark and light, dark and light, just by itself. And so, and the dark, see, there's no changing it. It goes. This is just a natural process of life, of living, of how energy works, and frequency and sound and stuff. And so, down in this negative period of time, but to souls it isn't. It's just like looking at it. But there's some souls that just literally looking, but there's different souls that are the energy of it. So it's the and that's this playing this part of reincarnation or whatever. But the reincarnation, I think, like we had these ideas that we had lots of different lives and we were born a lot, but still we had the wrong concepts about being born and stuff. I think it's more like an idea creates an idea, creates an idea, creates an idea. It's more the window inside the window, inside the window, inside the window. It's this bleeding, it's this progression. It's like how I say, like we are an echo of our parents. And which, this is kind of trippy, this sidebar, because they've got this huge movement. Before they had all these girls, oh, there's stuff on my face. They have all these girls, I keep seeing like a hole or something. They have all these, they had all these girls who, you know, is the feminine energy. They're in deep in their masculine. They're pulled into. They've got to protect themselves. World sucks and stuff like that. But that is it's like this movement that they created. It probably started back with those motherfucking pussycat hat dolls or whatever those were, or hats, things, whatever the fuck they were. When all those girls started wearing them, and guess who was starting that shit? Madonna, because she's just a paid fucking. She's just a billboard of a person. She's not. She's lost. So, and she sold out. Like her whole number one desire was just to be famous. She reminds me of the at the corner where they said that they would go meet the guy, the devil himself, and they would sell their soul for fame and fortune, which somebody, I don't remember, oh, it was that girl, the one who's always on stuff now, I think her name's Taryn or something, and she was on Orange is the New Black, and she said that, because I've seen so many movies where she's young, and she was really cute, but then she started playing like the hillbilly girl, and she didn't want to. She said she was offered, she called it the gold juice or something like that, 3 times, and Whitney, I don't know, think of her last name. She's a comedian. She has podcasts, and she had her on there, and she had said something about it. She was offered it 3 times, and so she had said, well, what was it? Was it... Whitney acted all like she had no idea what the hell you're talking about. I don't know. She doesn't, like, surely she's not that lost. But she said, was it pee? And she's like, no, I don't know what it is. I've always refused it. But when you take it, you get it's fame and fortune. And there was another person that said that, I think it was Lady Gaga, and she wanted it, and so somebody showed up, like the devil, and she signed it off. And there's a lot of different people who sing about that and stuff. They signed their soul away and stuff. I don't know what ceremony and what shit, that the people all do and go through, but there's definitely weird shit going on where people are doing that. But Madonna, she was, because I had seen a thing about her recently. I don't know, this documentary or something. And she just was very opportunistic. It seemed that like she blew off her band members or something so she could, like, she just seemed not to have much loyalty to other people that she played with or something. I don't remember now, but I was just like, oh, she was just really kind of a icky person, and all she wanted to do. And then they created that character around her because that's not how she looked before, when they all of a sudden came out and she had all the lace and the jewelry and stuff. And then we all went in that direction in the 80s. We all went, oh, that way. Tons of makeup and all that hair and all the jewelry, and it was a trend or something that she, in so knowing, you know, that she was just paid to be that. She wasn't that girl sitting in a bar singing, and they discovered her that way. They created her. And just like they do with all these boy bands and stuff, they take these people and they create them into, and then the people do it because they just want to be famous, and they just want money or power or whatever. It's whatever, you know, you're here to learn about. And but that's the thing, is like how, to the what degree, like to what degree of separation are you from all of the other things that you interact with in your soul family? Because I don't see it as like we're all going in as a big group. Okay, you guys, we're gonna go play these parts, but let's go sign our contracts and stuff. No, it's more like this thought, this light coming on, and then it's like all of the moths flocking to the light or something. It's like this light or this, you know, then we just go. And but man, it's so weird because like in this we had to go through another person. Oh yeah, and then we got them turning the feminines into just not seeing the gift that they hold into birth, and they go all SJW and hateful. They've got women so hateful right now, so against their feminine energy, and so many women are just like, and now there's a movement towards not having kids, which, you know, I think we need to be more mindful, because we got a lot of people just having kids and having kids and having kids and not thinking a thought about it, and that's not good. It's not a positive thing. And but then you have this movement of, you know, that they're not going to have them. Now these girls are saying, I have had them in my comments, I don't even have sex anymore. Because, oh, there's a whole story going around about a woman who had a miscarriage being arrested and all this stuff. Like, it sounds Handmaid's Tale story. You guys are on a storyline. But in their storyline, because the Handmaid's Tale keeps getting brought up all over the place, but they now believe that not having kids, that's the way that, you know, like they've got a whole generation. I would say women between, I don't know, maybe 35, but lower 30s. It's like a generation. Maybe it's still millennials and the little ends of the other two or something. But they've got like a whole group in this certain mindset where it's like they make their own little army. Because see, they're always trying to make these super soldiers. They always want to keep us a fighting too. So they create this little army of feminism worshipers or something. But feminism is a made up soul bullshit thing too. And so and I keep having this vision of I would assume it is a life that I lived, and I keep seeing it. And I was thinking, I think kind of like it's like them remembering. It's like remembering a better life, remembering a life where you had freedom, remembering a life where you were running free in the forest and, you know, playing in the day and doing things. And the one I see, it's very kind of jungly, and it's very much like Disney princess kind of theme. I was like, oh, so that is like our real story. We can really have like that real story like that, but then they tell us like, oh, look, you're asking too much. All these girls got stuck in this fairy tale syndrome or whatever. But it's like we have memories, I think, of it. I think we remember being in these kind of stories, and getting to experience freedom and love and stuff. And so it's remembering that and desiring it again. And in mine, like I said, it's kind of jungly. It kind of reminds me of like Egypt, or I think there was a lot of lives back. I feel like I lived a lot of different ones back at this certain era, time period or something, like Atlantis, because it's kind of a place like that. And when I see it, it's kind of jungly, but I know like they say like the ice wall used to be jungly, and so I don't know, it could be like someplace like that. But see, we just lived at different times and stuff, but we gotta live in periods of time of being free. And just, your day was like, what do you want to do? Well, I want to eat today, so let's go look for some food. Like, it's just kind of as a free spirits, getting to just enjoy being, I don't know, jungle people or something. It's not like jungle people. They don't look like jungle people. They look just like, but there's jungles, and you get to go out and just be in the forest and be in the jungles and go just explore the world, experience the world and stuff. And I don't see like creatures coming after them or anything. It doesn't seem scary at all. Like in the other one, when I was a little kid, and that dream, that repetitive dream with the mount, or not with them, it was a big fucking tiger that killed me. And that was scary. Like I always in the dream, the sensing it and the feeling it, that was really scary, because it gave me nightmares for, man, I swear to God, I was having nightmares in my 20s every night. It was like every night when I would go to bed. And it's weird. I mean, when I even think about, there's a lot of stuff about that. I won't go into that because I'm already stuck on this thing about the dimensional and the way that we see ourselves, the way that we need to see ourselves. But when you just keep pulling back from that and going into your true self, see, you're just energy. And it's like the energy at this high vibration can create anything at once. So we create the heavens, the palaces and stuff. We just create it. We can make it be what we want it to be, because we are in that vibration and in that waveform. And I think that is where we mostly are. I don't know. I mean, there could be people in the middle that are trying to get to the top. I mean, maybe we're all in the middle trying to get to the top. Maybe the top is just the Watchers and the Arcturians or something. I don't know. The Masters. That's why the Masters, whatever they're called, don't they say there's like 14 of them or something? And so I swear to God, it's like the stories came from there. And is it like the templates are created from this energy coming? So the first 14, so with the energy, when it would go, it would take time for the energy to begin to experience itself. And so the energy is energy, but you're talking a long time ago. Like, but where it came to be is, it's like the first ones that began to experience themselves. And I don't know if it was kind of like a mind just dreaming, just these, like our dreams, like they're kind of like puffs of smoke. They're kind of like, they don't have like a whole long story. You get these snippets of this weird thing, and you just go through and door, and you're in another snippet, and you're having this, it's like trippy. So if that isn't what, you know, it's just kind of this, maybe that's what the density is like. It's just these puffs of smoke or something, and it's like, but when you focus on it, then you see it and you experience it. But it's like the stories are all written. So if it's like these 14 philosophies or whatever, if you just go on these grand masters or whatever, yeah, and 14 of them, and then they begin to experience themselves and create philosophies or concepts or something, and that became these templated storylines or something, and all of those have a bleed out. So all of our souls come from everything comes from something else. And so at some point, souls, all different souls, all became, or all these different energy forms began to experience themselves, began to see or feel themselves, like they could feel something, they could feel that they were alive in some way. But it was then, like, I totally am in alignment with what Matthias DeStefano had said about that. Then the question is, who and what am I? And in the who and what am I, it like puts you into this spiral of information, like the Grand Masters games or whatever. And so it's like you go into this experience, but it's like we're not really going anywhere. That's the thing. And is all your soul family really just an expression of the one thought that wanted to experience, that had the one question, and then it creates all the other stuff? Like if I'm pulled into some eyeball, into some portal, and I'm in there, is it just a room? But then I begin to create what the room is. And that's something that these other energies are trying to harness or something. I don't know. There's something about like the higher beings going into the lower, and it's almost like a cat and mouse game. I swear to God, it's almost like the light is playing a game. It's not like that we are, I know some people feel trapped, like, and it makes sense that some people would get trapped, especially if it's a game like this, you know, and there's always prisoners of war. And if it's this game between the light and the dark, and this cat and mouse of the energies, but see, then that creates the movement of the natural progression of everything, of all the frequency, of all of this stuff. So it is a natural thing. But when you slow it down, and then you take the free thinking soul has free will, so it has it has to it's on some level it knows what the experience is, so it still goes for the experience. It's all, and it's like the ego drives, and it's like this, you know, to see that you could handle any challenge. It's almost like, you know, where you where like teenagers think that they're invincible, nothing can happen, but we really truly are invincible. So, but it's where teenagers kind of have that, you know, nothing can hurt me, you know, kind of thing, because that is our true nature. And it's like that they still have a hold of that, but in this physical game, it's just because everything is slowed down. But in this slow down part, there is these beings that live here. It's like this is their territory, and I don't know, it's just, it's weird how it becomes like these experiences, And then we go into them because, like I said, I totally don't see it as a physical thing at all. And I don't see it as like all these individuals signing contracts and all that stuff too. I see everything is so much more big, so much more like energy or something now, so much more like a, like you, yeah, like Sonic. Like Sonic is zooming and he just looks like energy, but when he slows down, suddenly he's a character. And so that's how I see us, as this energy, but then we could slow down and be inside this experience bubble, and we can slow down and play this character. But in the bubble that we go into, that we are a specific part, because it's storylines playing out and we have a specific part. We don't just go in, but we go in knowing that what part we're playing. There's a reason why we take the parts we take. It's not, it seems to me, because it's always about the expansion of self and what you learn and grow. And there's parts of us, like I said, that are waking up, memories of other lives where it is where this was not satisfactory anymore, because we could have better. And it is kind of like they've played off of our pain and suffering, shame and guilt and stuff. They've pushed that and promoted that. And but these girls who think like, it's bad to have kids now, and they're not going to have kids and stuff. And my mom was talking about this the other day, and she was saying, how are they even going to learn then the lessons that you get from being a parent? Because there's so many lessons you learn. And I was thinking about that, or we were talking about or something, but anyways, it was like, yeah, you learn very unique lessons, and it goes and goes and goes. And then people are like, well, I'm a dog parent. Well, it's way different. I've been both. Stella's not going to stop calling me. Stella's not going to ignore me. Stella's not going to go around and slam the doors. Stella's not going to tell me that I'm a horrible, ugly bitch that they hate. And, she's going to... So, yeah, it's very different. And there's a lot that goes on as a parent that you experience through these different stages of another being going through their experience. And it is meant to have all these lessons and stuff, but it was like, man, when you start thinking about it, like the selflessness, like no matter what the kids think, everybody who's been a parent knows they've put themselves aside. They've gotten their ass up when they didn't want to get out of bed. They went and taken care of this. They went and did all sorts of shit that they were like, fuck no, no way am I just jumping up and want to do this. Like, who wants to be up with a sick kid all night? Who wants to be up cleaning up vomit in the middle of the night? Like, there's lots of stuff that you end up having to do where you have to put yourself aside. Well, that builds up parts of you. Well, or some people are in such a toxic state, and these are ones that, are having kids for the wrong reasons too. Because there are always going to be lessons. There's always going to be a kid that's coming in for the lessons that the parents are giving, and there's always these entanglement things. And so we definitely have an energy group that we are with, but it's like we are a part of this energy group kind of thing. And like, I don't know, like we have separation in it, but anyways, it becomes so confusing. But these girls, how are you going to learn these certain lessons? And I had said something about that on TikTok. Of course, that's like, oh, how dare you? Okay, Granny, this isn't the 50s. I said, I think you're missing my point, what I'm saying. But where do you learn these lessons? This one girl, she's like, well, I do that. I'm a dog parent. I have to take care of my Alzheimer's parents. I have to... It's like, do you not understand anything about roles? Like, do you get, like, what a different role that is to be taking care of an Alzheimer's patient? Oh, my God. You can just go in and listen. I'm sure there's forums of them talking. you know, and they're all taking care of these parents that didn't do them right, that did them dirty, or they're doing the last things for this greatest parent in the whole wide world. It's like, it's about them. And, yeah, they can feel like they're pushed into doing things that they don't want to do, but there's a different hierarchy to it than being the parent and the thing with the kid, than being now the on the other flip. Like, that does not teach you the same things. You know, there's lessons and everything, but it's not the same. And then also she gives her time and volunteering, or, you know, these other things. That's how she grows as a person, which is all fine and good. But I still am saying there's particular lessons that you have as a parent, and as and not doing that, not having that selfless part can create a very self-indulgent person. It's all about me. It's all about me. And that's what they kind of have, these girls, in that energy. It's all about me. It's all about me. It's so inflated. And so there's just something about, I mean, they've got all sorts of people off on programming. I mean, there's so many programs being run, and people just don't even realize it. And it's so crazy because they can point fingers at other people running programs, but they don't see the ones that they're running. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm running one. I don't know. I don't have any idea. Maybe you guys are all like, oh, she's always running this program. But I don't know if I am. Tell me, and I'll think about it. See if I think I am. But I see people running programs all the time. That's for sure. And so this whole group, though, there's going to be a dead end. There's going to be, because the divine feminine, the feminine energy, is the more connection to the Christ mentality, the creation, and the ability to create. But that's also finding balance, not just popping them out one after another, because there's a benefit of welfare or whatever these different people think. But then there is a balance. There's a more thoughtful process to it, of taking what you're doing very serious. You're bringing in a whole another human being. You're teaching them what you have learned. And, you know, there's lots of it. Like, in mine came to me. I wasn't trying to get pregnant. I just got pregnant. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm ready. I'm gonna have a kid now. No, I just got pregnant, and I just believed that when something like that happens, it's because the universe is putting you on. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go that way. See, and these other girls who fight that, no, you go down and take care of it at the clinic. It's like, man, I don't look at it that way at all. I feel like that is, you know, it's coming from the big guy, which I don't even think it is just like one guy or something, but it's coming from the upper. It's coming from the universe, is bringing this to you, and it's for a reason. And so then some people choose that, you know, to evacuate, and then you have that is a part of your lesson. You know, that's a whole storyline. So it's not like, you know, that they're doing something that they shouldn't do. It's just a storyline, and every experiencer has to face themselves in the experiences, and some of those are really hard. Some stuff like that, to have to face it, is really hard. And sometimes you have to go through other lives so you can see it from other directions, and so it isn't feel so burdensome. So not all the lessons are, everything is just to see things from so many different perspectives. And no matter how many perspectives, there can be billions more, because it can be, you know, you were born here at this time, this color, or this size, this kind of family, that kind of, every little variable that you changes the stories. And so, and we're all playing these out. It's like everything possible is playing out all the time. And then when there is new storylines or whatever, it is like the expansion. And maybe that is what we're always doing, like moves like the universe moves kind of like an octopus. We're just in these expansions. Like right now we're at this part. It's like it goes and then it goes, and so we're at this because we're about to make a forward move. The movements for us, takes way longer. So it's way slower. It's not as fast, but that is the movement kind of. And so everything in nature shows everything, like the expansion, the movement, everything is like this in nature shows. But then when you go through the different steps or levels, it gets you to the part where you're just the energy moving that. And it's like you got to really slow down to go into experience who and what you are. And so, and that is at these different vibrations. And so even when you're way high, you want to feel yourself, you want to feel experience. And so you go in lower, but lower, I guess there's challenges, just like in any kind of video game or something, and you go lower and they can gotcha. And then so, but it is maybe like right now there is like a rescue mission. Like they had a bunch of people that they kept on trapping. And so then it was like a whole bunch of people, or a whole bunch of that energy from upstairs is coming downstairs to try and pull out the other energy. And it is like that, because it is like that gum, like the dirt, your gum falls in the dirt and you try and pull it out. It is like that, this energy. So there's the light, a whole bunch of light came into the dark to pull that dark out. But when you do it, it's like this energy thing. It's like that's why the awakening is, it's weird, because it's like this touching of other people, but it's like you don't get it until you're supposed to get it. You can't get it early. It's not like, oh, well, I touched the right person, you didn't. But it's like the same thing as like when you spill something and the way it bleeds out. It's like, and sometimes you do see it go around and it create these patterns and stuff. But a lot of times, it just bleeds out. And you can't, you can't get it to be here when it's still over here and it's still going. It still has that movement of everything that has to happen to get to there. And so everything is, I hope I don't see, when you try and explain this stuff, it sounds so, like, I don't even know if I'm making any sense at all. But it makes sense when you can see it and stuff. It's trying to translate it, trying to say it is like, man, I don't know. This makes sense because it's on this weird level where most people are having a hard time even having the concept that they're a soul. That they're a soul having this experience. They aren't the person they think they are. And they're also stuck on the person they think they are, and all stuck on this really three-dimensional concept of self, which is very heavy anchor. It anchors you into this depth, this darkness, because then they have us like in this spacesuit thing that's not even real. They have us like we're cutting it up and all sorts of stuff, man. Like trying to change ourselves and into something, I don't know, it's weird. It's so weird. It is like a mental trap. And there seems like tons of people are mentally trapped. We'll see when the awakening happens, because there's people who are waking up who are saying, hey, we've been trapped. But then there's a lot of people who aren't awake yet. So we may, like, when people wake up, they may all be like, fuck, I was trapped. Maybe a whole shit ton of people is trapped and we just don't even know it yet. But we'll see. But it is like, yeah, it is so much like this dirt on the gum thing. But so you have all these people who are in these mind traps. They're held by these perspectives of a world that isn't even real. And then you try and tell them, and they think you're crazy. And but so the majority of people are on that level, that everything is like crazy if you're talking anything about spirit and stuff like that. It's like they can't even wrap their head. But once you do, it's like you can't see it any other way. Like I can't see it any other way. So it's kind of like I lose my sight to seeing it from the three-dimensional perspective. And so to me, the people who seem trapped in the three-dimensional perspective seem like out there. It seems wacky. Like, why can't you see? Why can't you see? And so then to me, in my spiritual perspective, it tells me it's not for me to be in judgment or to force anyone to see. It's for me to just observe, just to watch, and to watch it. It's to process my feelings about it, but to be more in observation. Because what would be the point of going in and trying to argue and force people into seeing? Like, it would be an interference into their experience. And so it's just trippy, because it is so much of like this holding on to this three-dimensional story, these roles and stuff, to play them out. But then there's also this part, in the spiritual part, where everything needs to play out, because everything playing out is what changes everything. So then as the soul who is more awake, you can't go in, you're not supposed to go in. So when you're on that spiritual level, you're not supposed to be going in and trying to interfere. You're supposed to let things play out in natural order, not cause things to not bleed out in a natural way, not try and, okay, because then it is like the bleed out thing where somebody creates. See, that's like the karma thing. That is the interference where they have to put things back in order because they've caused things to not go in a certain direction. But it's up to them then to put it back in order. And so, but it isn't like you put something out of order and then all of your soul friends are trapped in it. It is almost like your story is an extension of you. It's like you are all the characters. And, but you're not seeing it from all their perspectives. You're only focused on one perspective. But then it's trippy because all the other perspectives all feel that they also have a perspective. So we become individual perspectives. But it still is, it's got to be the sense of, where we all come from, that we're all like connected at some point. We're all energy from the same source. We're all the same energetically. But it's just on these different levels of understanding. So like, yeah, you go into the 3D when you have people who seem like they don't know anything of who or what they are or anything, but then we're at this period of time for this grand awakening for people to suddenly be plugged back in. It's like the Christmas lights going on. Suddenly everybody puts their Christmas lights on. It's like the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Everybody's lights up all at once. And that is this grand awakening thing that we're in this process of being involved in. So that is, and it is like, people are already got their things decorated and are like the ones early, like the people who started after Thanksgiving. They all, or we all have already plugged our lights in and put out our decorations. But along the way, we've changed out some decorations, that's for sure. Because we looked at it one way and we liked it a lot that way, but then all of a sudden, through all of this transition, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I don't like it like that anymore. I like it like this. And so we've made changes as well, but it's more in a dominant kind of dominant feature of understanding. So it's more purposeful. So we have made changes to ourselves more purposefully. A lot of people are because there is a sense on some parts of people going with the flow when they're really stuck in their roles of they're three-dimensional, even though they're running programs and stuff like that. But see, these are all different things that they have to realize for themselves, and then they have to break free. It's like you have to remove the chains. The chains aren't going to just fall off, and I don't think they're just going to fall off because all of a sudden you just see yourself in your best timeline. Like, I'm telling you, I've tried some of this stuff with this envisioning and stuff like that. It is, I swear to God, it is way more of just going with the flow, just getting into the rhythm of life, just letting things happen, trusting that you came here for a purpose and let the purpose reveal itself. Go along as things go along, learn as you go, and go with the flow. And not be resistant, not try and control it. But those are also aspects of the people who, when they wake up to the roles that they play, they start to realize how much that they are on autopilot. They just automatically do these things. Well, that's because you're a prisoner to your pain, and you're just reacting to your different pain. And so those are the chains you have to let go of, because otherwise you're just reactive to your own pain. And so you just keep playing out things. And so when you start seeing and you start waking up and you start understanding your roles, and that you need to become more deliberate in your actions, not just be on autopilot. It is like a slave to your pain and suffering. And so it is, there's an acknowledgement that needs to occur to your pain. You can't just, stuff it down further and go about your business. You need to release it. And this is what this great opportunity has to be about with the energy, is giving us this, it's like it's handing it to us. And so the frequencies coming in, the remembering, the helping you to remember, which yesterday I had a weird thing that happened. It was kind of trippy because the last time I had made an order at ThredUp, I had ordered these 4 things. And so I had gotten these 2 jumpsuits and a dress. Let's see, what was it? I guess it was 2 dresses and 2 jumpsuits. And then when they said they were sending it, they said that they couldn't find one of the jumpsuits, so they refunded me, and they were sending out my other 3 things. So I got them, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and I liked them, I put them away, waiting for places to wear some of the stuff. But, so I didn't think anything about it. And yesterday my mom went down to the mailbox, because I went in to take a shower because my hair was full of honey or something. I couldn't even comb it. And so I went in and took a shower, and she went down to the mailbox because it showed that our delivery had come. Oh yeah, because I want to talk about that real quick too. Hopefully I've made sense over some of this stuff. So I'm telling you, it's all in where you find yourself, and the density, the lightness, like how you see things. But so she had gone down to the mailbox, and so she had come back, and she gave me a package from ThredUp, and I was like, what's this? And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, that's weird. I don't have anything. I'm thinking, did I order something and not know it? Like, I don't have any money to order anything. It's like, what the hell? And so I open it. It was the jumpsuit. So then I go and look on my thing, and it still shows that it's lost and refunded. And so they just found it and sent it out to me. So I got this free jumpsuit, I guess, because now it's already here and stuff. I don't think that they're going to come and say, oh, by the way, we sent this and we want you to pay for it now. It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's already gone through the whole process of being sent out, and it's already been delivered. So I don't know. It was so weird. But it was like this little gift, like all of a sudden out of the blue. Oh, here you go. And did not even have to be charged for it. I was like, well, that's cool. It's like this little gift from the universe comes in. But, okay, so she got this stuff. And for one thing, apparently, because she's been looking it up and looking up all last night, because when we mixed them, it wasn't making, you can smell the smell, but it wasn't making the amber color. And so she did read that definitely don't take a bunch of drops. Like the people on the podcast people that were interviewing the guy, they were taking 3 drops, and but everybody was like, you should start with 1 drop. But I guess if you take too many, it can affect your liver or your kidneys or something. So don't go in and rush in and start taking a bunch. And it does make the water taste really fresh. Really does taste fresh. And, but I still don't know. Is we're going to try it today again and mix out some and see if maybe you have to mix it longer to get the color. So I don't know. And I'm not sure about all the benefits of it, but on the, patches, there's a whole forum of people who are doing it for weight loss, and they are like losing weight really fast, and they say it's just an appetite suppressant. It just makes you not even be hungry. So if you struggle with that, that might be something to try, because the people who are doing it really, really love it. And I put one on again the other day for something. I can't remember because I keep having stuff about it pop up. I was like, well, I should do it again. And I do feel more clear. But I did it and it fell off after a couple hours, which was weird. So I was like, okay, well, that's the universe telling me that I don't need it on right now. So then I did it again yesterday. And they said if you have any itchiness, because I have itchiness when I put it on, and they said put it on the bottom of your foot. And so I put it on the bottom of my foot. It was fine and dandy, but then I went and took a shower. So I'm scrubbing my feet. I didn't even think about it. And then all of a sudden it was laying there. So it came off again. But I was like, okay, so I must have already got all the benefit I needed from it, because this would be the universe. I'm not going to fight it and just let things happen naturally. And so, but I don't know. I feel like I feel better, but I mean, I'm doing, Jesus Christ, I swear to God. It's like my whole focus is like doing things to take care of myself. Like all these teas and these powders and all this stuff is all to try and take care of myself and, see if it helps, see if it doesn't help. And I don't know, it's all is pulling free from a system, that's for sure. Is I don't trust that system at all. Yeah, my mom got those in her eyes. I was like, man, there is no fucking way. No way. They couldn't scare me into, what, you're going to be blind, you're going to be blind. I'll be like, well, I guess I'm going to be blind then. I guess that's what I'm here to experience, because I'm not here to experience you poking needles in my eyeballs, that's for sure. So, hell no. And they don't just do it once. They got to put in the deadening stuff, then they got to give the deadening shot, and then they got to do the other one. It's like, oh my God, I can't even, And she said, everybody who gets them says it hurts really bad. Like she still is having her eye is just aching and aching. It's like, there's no way. When I was driving her, I was like, there's no way. I mean, we all make our own choices. I would choose to just be like, well, I'm just going to go blind. But I'm doing all this natural stuff and I'm seeing a benefit, which I'm telling you, black seed oil, if you've got any kind of things with the mucus, but it wasn't like clearing up my sinuses so much. But when I did the patch over the last couple of days, I feel so much more clear. I think I'm going to do another one today for a while. But I started having all these different things. It's like, man, am I causing some interference? Am I causing my own storm in here? I got the CHDI, but there was one I wanted to say, because iron is Fe, and so it's not like a big I. So on the periodic table, it's Fe, and I just saw a thing that they were talking about. There's a certain kind of Fe that you can overdose on, and there's only a certain kind that you should be taking a lot, which to me is, I don't take any of that as a supplement. I just cook in the cast iron, and I have the iron fish that I put in my water, which I feel like I've seen benefit. I felt like, I don't know, the hair thing, it just goes kind of really slow. So But I felt like when I started having more iron, when I started using the fish, not just like cooking in a cast iron skillet a couple times a week, when I started having the fish in my water every day, then I started feeling like, oh, I feel like my hair is changing faster or something. But all these things work together because, like, you need the iron in order to absorb the copper. So it could be that having more iron gives me more absorption of the copper. And then you also have to have the magnesium kind of urges the copper to do its job. So they all kind of work together. And then it also depends on you and your own periodic table and how much selenium you need, how much boron you need, how much of all these different things. But the more natural way to get him is the best way. I mean, I wouldn't go get a salt lick, but you probably could, and maybe you would get better absorbency out of the selenium, because there's some things, like even my mom said, you got to be careful of taking too much zinc. And I also feel like that about the selenium, but I don't know. These are all things like you have to go and try them and figure them out and stuff. And there isn't side effects really. I mean, like you drink too much copper, you're gonna feel nauseous. I am having some weird thing with still like these, I don't know, like when your foot's going to sleep, only it's happening all over my body. And so I don't know, that could be something that's going on here in this world. It could be something that's happening to my body as my body's changing and stuff. I don't know. It could be some autoimmune thing, but the patches are really helping with the autoimmune thing too. There's a whole form of that. And so, in the autoimmune thing is all of this long-term effects of poisoning and stuff. So everything is about this, like you got to detox, you got to take care of yourself, but you have to find balance in all these things. And it is good to learn the periodic table, probably. I mean, not have to, like when we were in school, when I was in school for nursing, like we had to memorize that shit. We had to know all that stuff. I don't remember it all now. But anyways, but to understand, we're made up of like the periodic table. You have your own DNA, your own functionality of how you work together. It's like we're all different models of different kinds of cars or something. So, but you have to know yourself. You can't just rely on what works for somebody else because you don't know their structure. So even if I say, well, this works for me, I can just say, hey, I didn't die from taking this. You might want to try it. Like, so but if you do the CHDI, don't overdo it. Don't try and rush in. And like the one girl who was doing it, like she was lost 150 pounds or something. But she started out with 21 milligrams of a patch, and she said it made her real sick. And so don't be like that. Like some of this stuff, you can't quick fix it. You probably, as long as it took to break, is the time you need to give to fix it. So don't just think you can quick fix everything, especially with your health. You got to build it back up, and through taking care of yourself. And it isn't. There's some mental capacity to the taking care of yourself, kind of like petting a kitten. You got to be that way with yourself. You got to be loving to yourself and taking care of yourself and doing all of these things to try and like show yourself that you love yourself. Taking time to go do things that you enjoy or walk or whatever. I don't know, but there's got to be you giving back to you. And then that is such a benefit to your health. It is a benefit to your psyche when you give time to you. And then you gotta also, though, try and understand your body on the format of the consumption, what it needs, which that is a whole nother scale too, leading to 3D. In the 3D world, you need this, you need this, you need this. But as you pull free from that, you start realizing that you don't need those things. And then even you get way over here, like with the brethren people and stuff, and all these people who are the fasters and stuff that to me are moving towards the brethren people, start to show you like, no, that's all, it's all of your own ties to what you believe. The more that you move out of these belief systems, the more you see that it was just a chain that was holding you back. You don't need to eat all that stuff. And it's crazy because like I'm still in the place where, my stomach's sitting here growling and growling. And I'll spend the whole morning like looking for things to, like, I'll eat some cookies, and like that's what I'll probably eat today, because I made some peanut butter cookies yesterday. And I made some hummus. I was thinking about maybe just roasting some potatoes or something today to eat. I don't know, but it's always just kind of like, I don't know, the hunter-gatherer part, you just get up in the morning, it's like, so what am I going to eat today? What am I going to do? But then there becomes this other point of evolution where it's like we don't really have to eat. We don't have to feed the hologram. It's like, I don't know, it's weird, because then there's the part too where feeding the hologram can be quite enjoyable. You can really enjoy it. And so why do you want to take away all of your joy? And so everything is like so many different things to look at. But and everything is each individual creating their own balance and figuring out like what they think, what they need and stuff. And we're all in the process. It's like, I'm not, it's not like you reach, like that is one thing too. Yeah, these people, they reach this point of their awakening. It's like, well, they got to the top of the mountain. I'm here. I've awoken. I see what the government's doing. I see